feel like a lot of people are just kind of reactionary robots who have a very rudimentary response to shit, you know? Like being reactionary, you know? It makes sense sometimes, you know, like, oh shit, he's got a knife, you know? You don't want to be too contemplative in that moment, like, oh, that irate fellow over there seems to be brandishing a weapon. What would be the most pragmatic thing to do in this situation? By the time you're done thinking that shit, you've been stabbed. You know, you have to react there. You have to go with that emotional impulse, whether it's fight or flight. I'm going to go with flight. You know, I'm not the best fighter. I'm not the best runner. So chances are I'm getting stabbed. But I don't know. Faced with that situation, think I'm going flight if possible. Because indecision there is certain death. But people react emotionally too fucking often these days, my opinion. Feminists today, for example, mad at poor Joss Whedon, who's a little cuck who sucks their fucking clits. And then why are they mad? Because the Wonder Woman script that he wrote back in 2005, which has nothing to do with the movie that just came out, apparently it wasn't feminist enough. It had the fucking gall to describe Wonder Woman as beautiful. And even worse, curvaceous. Oh my God. Hang him! Hang that man! I saw some conservatives the other day. They were mad because Seth Rogen made a joke about some alt-right guy who got stabbed, and he looked like Seth Rogen, so Seth Rogen's like, I just want everyone to know I'm not a white supremacist and I haven't been stabbed 9 times and I do have insurance. All these conservatives are like, hey man, that guy's got a family. Well, so fucking what? Seth Rogen didn't insult the dude's fucking family. He just made a joke about how him and the guy looked alike. People don't want to think about shit anymore. Maybe they never did, you know? I mean, I've only been around 32 years. But it seems to me like people just want to react like, holy shit, did you see what the enemy just did? My feelings are hurt. But instead of examining why or trying to look beyond that, I'm just going to react. And all the people, including me, who are just like, oh man, look at all these fucking snowflakes. These little triggerable little snowflakes everywhere, all around me. We're caught in the same fucking trap, hate to tell you, because we're not thinking either. All we're doing is just applying a label to people like, oh, that person did this, they're a fucking snowflake. I dismiss them forever, ha 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 ha. I am superior. It's easy to get drawn into these lame reaction battles. You know, one person says something and a bunch of people react, and then people react to the reaction, and then the initial people react to the reaction to their reaction, and it just ends up in this big, stupid, dumbass flame war. Bunch of retards trying to trigger one another because they think it proves something. And don't get me wrong, that can be fun, that has its place, but lately it feels like its place is everywhere. And it's all starting to become so much meaningless fucking graffiti. Just a big, boring cesspool of easily butthurt people trying to hurt the feelings of other easily butthurt people, and neither side seems to realize that they're the mirror image of who they're fucking arguing with. I mean, look, we live in a bold new age when Lacey Green and Sargon of Akkad can hug each other for 10 fucking minutes and weep into each other's arms. And that's why I would like to announce my intention to fuck Steve Shives. I think it would do a lot to heal this rift that exists. You know, Chris Ray Gun fucked Lacey Green, or maybe she fucked him with a strap on. I don't know. I'm not present when they fuck. Not usually, anyway. But the point is, now Lacey's cuddling with fucking Sargon like he's a big old fucking teddy bear. So it's obvious to save Steve, he needs the same treatment. He needs the warm love of a sad neckbeard. Now let me be clear. I will respect Steve Shives' consent. I'm not talking about corrective rape here because that's rarely effective. What I'm talking about is, Steve, when you want to be healed, when you want to rejoin the anti-SJW community, with open arms. I'm willing to be the one who fucks some sense into you. Don't worry, I can be very gentle, and I'm not well hung. So if you're a beginner, you're not going to find me that challenging to accommodate. Now, it's still going to hurt because you're a real tight ass. We all know that. It's probably going to hurt my dick just as much as it hurts your asshole, but we're going to get through it together, Steve. We're going to get through it together. I know what you're thinking, Steve. Hey, why can't I be on top? Oh. Actually, never mind. You've never had that thought in your entire fucking life. What you're probably really thinking is how to take this video down. You know, the same way you feel about all of my videos. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? You're just reacting emotionally. Your mind is totally blind to the fact that I'm just joking. That I'm just trying to upset you. That I'm trying to trigger you. And you are trying to be triggered. It's a sick, self-perpetuating cycle. And we're all just reduced to empty-headed fucking outrage machines who don't recognize the merit of contemplation or communication or empathy or any sort of productive dialogue. It just becomes a battle of who can outrage the best and who can rage out at the outrage the best. And we're all we're doing with this bullshit is just conditioning ourselves to be callous towards other people and hypersensitive about ourselves. It all becomes solipsistic after a while, you know? Everyone thinks only they matter. And the other people out there, they only matter to the extent that they're similar to oneself. Now, that's not new, okay? I admit it. People have always cloistered into groups, you know, religious groups, racial groups, political groups, whatever. But it seemed like in the early days of the internet that maybe we were going to escape that. But now things are worse than ever because now the groups are just becoming more and more specialized. Like if you grew up in 1970 and you thought you were a fucking dragon, you would never tell another living soul. And if you did, you'd be called crazy. But now all the crazy fucks who think they're dragons can all find each other. And they can all validate one another's bullshit. And now anyone who calls them crazy is, of course, a horrible fucking bigot. So the tribes are just getting more and more fragmented, more and more specialized. And pretty soon, everyone is just in a tribe of one. Only in it for themselves, purely motivated by self-interest, completely willing to brutally shit on everyone around them, but absolutely shattered and enraged when anyone dares to give them the slightest bit of grief. We all already know people like this. There's a lot of happy mediums we're still looking for as a species. We need a happy medium between being reactionary and being pensive. We need a happy medium between empathy and self-interest. And we need to challenge our own emotions more. Your immediate emotional response, no matter how appropriate it feels, should always be examined carefully and detached. You need a detached mindset. Pull yourself out of your own ego for 1 second and just look at things as they genuinely are. By the way, Steve, the offer still stands. It wasn't a joke, honestly. I think you're beautiful. And curvaceous. Oh yeah, curvy Steve Shives. I'm TJ Kirk. Peace the fuck out. If you enjoy my shit, follow me, subscribe to me, social media, Patreon, t-shirts, all that shit. You know where to go. Links down below. Bitch. 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 That was a fucking rather girly bitch there at the end. Bitch. That was even worse, just cringy. I better stop.